Rabotai, we are involved in the most fascinating topic called humility, and one of the attributes that Hashem, the Torah, speaks about is that Moshe Rabbeinu had anava. Moshe Anav, it says he was the most anav out of all human beings. Now the question's asked, isn't that no, it's not. It's definitely not about. I'm saying, isn't that like? Wouldn't you find that a little like? There's no other thing. You can't say anything about Moshe Rabbeinu like, anava. That's it. He was humble. He was the most humble man. What about he was tzedisut? He was very patient with the people. He was very loyal to the people. That's the item. Anava. Everything else.
Saying it seems very simple.
The answer is, if a person really acquires this character trait, everything else will follow through. When a person is extremely humble, he will be the best husband ever. Hold the door for his wife 50 years after they're married. And not on the 50th anniversary. I'm talking regular. They're going out. They're holding out the door. He's holding the door for her. Why? Because he's humbled. I'm humbled. I'll do anything for my wife, for my this, for my... It's automatic. Patient. I'm humble. I'm gonna scream at some. I'm gonna go crazy because he's this, that. Who am I to go? You understand what I'm trying to say? It's the humility is the shoresh, is the beginning of all good character traits.
It's the core.
It's the foundation. So when we tell you Moshe Rabbeinu had, obviously he had everything else also like crazy. You understand? Like the best midot ever. Like, ever. But he worked on it. Avada, he worked on it. And now he writes over here, we're starting, all right? Hanava hi midat tova. Hanava is a great character trait. And he says, if he does have the humility, he'll be saved from a lot of evils. Now, what do I mean by that? Sometimes you'll see, I'm saying in general, you ever have a guy do something like cut you off when you're driving? Right? And you get inside, you're like, why do you cut me off? Oh, go cut him off. You know what I'm talking about or no? Mike, you know what I'm talking about, right? The guy cuts you off. Teddy has no idea. The guy cuts you off. And you're like, oh, he cut me off. I'm going to cut him off. Blah, blah, blah. So now you're already starting into trouble. You need to say, okay, no. What is the big deal if he cut you off? So what? You were driving slower. You should drive it more aggressively, or more, if that's the case. But big deal. So what's going to happen now that he cut you off? The answer is, it's your ego that he crushed. And because he crushed your ego, you're ready to go crazy. You don't really care, but my ego, I'm going to get this guy. And you cut him back off, or you tell him, what are you doing? Who are you? And therefore, he's telling you, if you're humble, it'll save you from a lot of things. Because you won't fight with anybody. You're not fighting with the guy now. Is that clear? Yeah. He's writing that. That's what he's telling you. Orchot Sadikim, 7 Orchot Sadikim, Shahar Anava. He's going to save you from that. Or we should get, keep you out of trouble. That's what he's telling you. Keep you out of trouble. Keep you out of trouble. Oh, a guy goes to his shul, right? He sits in a certain seat. He could sit right next to, let's say, for example, there's 2 seats. He could sit right. But no. He's programming the ego, my seat. But there's a seat right next to me. What's the problem? You understand? The ego. It's not the seat right next to you. It's the ego that you are sitting in my seat. There's a seat right next to me, right next to that. Doesn't matter. See my name on that seat? That's my seat. So if you're humble, it'll It'll automatically, save you from a lot of troubles. He writes, he's saying he's guaranteeing, he's getting reward. The more humble, the more reward he's telling you, right? He says a person, this is a very, very important Gemara. It's a Gemara in Mesechet Menachot, Daf Kuf Yud Amud Aleph, and it writes over there, I'll tell you a story. A person in life, Hashem wants him to do the utmost of his capabilities. The utmost of his capabilities. Whatever he's capable of doing, the full capacity. And that's his job in the world. You have abilities, you have powers, you have kochot. You have to use your full kochot, your full strength to serve Hashem. And if you do, you'll be, first of all, the happiest person ever in this world. Guaranteed. There's no question about it. If you serve Hashem with your full power. Now, a lot of times laziness comes in. I'm not in the mood, this, that. Forget that. You put all that aside. If you do, you will feel a tremendous amount of happiness in your life. Guaranteed. There's no question. You're serving Hashem with full power. Wow, there's no greater thing. Because really, that is the true happiness. Getting close to Hashem, there's nothing better and more happier than anybody in the world. Anything that anybody in the world could do except getting close to Hashem. I don't care if the guy's in the island, he has a private this, and he has a crazy hotel, and he has butlers and servants and this and that, feeding him the grapes in his mouth. It doesn't and the guy can do that, and he has all the wealth to do that, private jets and crazy cars and crazy wealth of clothing, top of the line, and it doesn't equal to one day when a person puts his full effort serving Hashem with his full capacity that day. Try it, test it, and you'll see what I'm talking about is right. Try it, test it, you'll see what I'm talking about is right. And then you'll text message me, you'll message me, say, Rabbi Palacci, 100% I did it, and you'll this, that. Right? Because it's the truth. How do I know that? First of all, Mr. Yeshim speaks about it. Right? The greatest shelemut of a person, perfection of a person is, and second of all, it's been proven and tested. And I always say, take the best drink or the best food that you like. You order like a crazy smoothie, I don't know what you're going to order, whatever it is, and you make a shehakol with your full power and you're really connecting to Hashem, you'll see the bracha will be more enjoyable than the drink itself. The bracha that you make is more enjoyable. Tested and proven. Yeah. I'm not joking. Try it out, you'll see. Try it out, you'll see. And then reach out, tell me how right you are, right? 917-806-1322. No joke, I got a lot of messages. And Baruch Hashem, great feedback. But you know what it is? The answer is your neshama is craving for something. And that crave, sometimes a person has a crave, that crave is the yearning to get close to Hashem. And there was a story about the Hacham ben Zion Abba Shaul. And I said this story over last week. What was the story of Hacham ben Zion Abba Shaul? He was going to the kotel once. Every year, the minhag was they would walk from Yerushalayim, from where they were at Sorotzkin or Matesdorf. They would walk Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot, the Shlosh Regalim. They would go to the kotel. They would go to the you know. And Hacham ben Zion did it. One year, when he was very old, it was like the last years of his life. He was in a wheelchair. And that was the first time he was in a wheelchair, when he was going to his shul. And he saw everybody walking the opposite direction to going to the kotel. And he had a tear in his eye, like, you know. And his gabbai that was pushing him saw that. And he says, Rabbi. And he told his Rabbi, come over here. Echad amarbeh ve'echad amamit ulbad shechaven libol shamayim. He said, I have to do my full ability right now. My full ability at my position right now, which was in a wheelchair, he cannot go to walk to the kotel. So if that's the case, my avodah Hashem at this moment is to go to the shul and not go to the kotel because he physically couldn't. But his kavanah was to serve Hashem with his most powerful being. Okay.